Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal God, and you are watching, of course, Metal Hammer TV.
You left after Painkiller, which was such an enormously well received Priest album. So what was the idea, the why for Fight?
Well, I think it's no different to a lot of musicians that have been in career bands, if that's what you want to call Priest. I mean, we've all been in Priest now for 36 years. And in some instances, you'll find members of a band thinking, well, what else could I possibly do? You know, is there anything else that I could be venturing into musically? And I'd had those feelings since the Turbo tour in '86. I can remember saying to Glenn and Ken, I've just got this, this yearning to see what else is out there, and they're like, yeah, well, we might want to do the same thing as well eventually, which of course they've both done. So at the end of the Painkiller tour, I'd already said that was my intention. I wanted to just, on the downtime, just go ahead and see what I could come up with. And I went back to Phoenix and started to write the music for War of Words. And then during that time, the proverbial shit hit the fan, with all the contract crap. And that's what led to me being away for Priest for that period of time. But I was just really focused. I just wanted to see what else I could do, and I'd never written music by myself before. I'd always written previously, as I do now, with Glenn and KK and Priest and Z and Metal Mike with the Halford band. So you just get on with your idea. You stay focused. Emotionally you're all over the place, but you just stay on the track and you get the job done, and that's how the whole Fight musical side, the writing side, began for me.
Okay, I mean, was there something specific that wasn't, like an itch that wasn't being scratched in Priest?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because I'm constantly inspired by what's going on around me in metal all the time, even now. Listening to bands like 3 Inches of Blood or Black Dahlia Murder or Dimmy Borgir. It just gets me fired up, it gets me thinking, well, not can I copy that, because I think that's a terrible mistake. It's nice to be inspired, but once you try and move into somebody else's territory that you're not really well versed in, then you end up being a bit of a chaser rather than a leader.
Do you feel lucky, but it's still being inspired to the point that you are, just like being able to reel off 3 exciting new bands like that? And it's, often people have been in bands for as long as that, often just sort of don't really care about me. You couldn't really name you anything new. Often say there's nothing new that's sort of exciting.
It's just mental. It's a mental job, isn't it? I mean, I've just had this broad-based, passionate love of all things metal, no matter what shape and style it might be.
Okay. Also, with when it came to actually sort of forming Fight, Scott went with you, right?
Yeah, because I'd mentioned to Scott towards the end of the Painkiller tour what I was planning to do. He said, have you got a drummer? And I went, not at the moment. He said, well, can I get the gig? I said, yeah, if you want to do it. I said, I don't know whether you'll like what I'm doing, but I'll send you some demos and check it out. And of course, when he listened to it, he said, just count me in. I'll go for it. So, drummers are the anchor, aren't they? I mean, you've got to get the right guy or girl behind the kit to hold it all together. And of course, I'd known Scott since his Racer X days with Paul Gilbert and Jeff Martin and everybody like that. So it was just a natural thing to do. But at that time, I still hadn't found JJ or Brian or Russ Parrish.
So how did finding those people come about?
Just auditions, really. Although I met JJ because he was doing all my tattoo work in Phoenix, and I didn't even know he was a musician. And then one day he said, "So what are you doing now?" And I told him. He goes, "I play bass, man." I went, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah. So we've got a gig tonight. You want to come and check us out?" I said, "Yeah, I'll come and have a look." I didn't know that Brian was with him. They'd moved down to Phoenix from Toledo, Ohio, and I went and saw the band, and I just knocked for 6. I thought, God, I mean, Jay's just this like evil bass demon god. He's got this tremendous personality, and when he's on stage, he just dominates, and Brian was just playing this incredible guitar, and I said to them both, you want to have a knock and see what we can do, and that's what we did. And Russ was through some connections that I'd got in LA, but I put the word out, and I got tons of people sending me demo tapes and video tapes and that kind of stuff, and looked at everybody, but I thought, no, I'm going to give these guys a chance and see how it'll work. People have often said, well, why didn't you just get other mates that you know in metal? And I'd thought about that, but again, just to reiterate this love I have of new talent, I thought, well, give these guys a go, because like I'm seeing what they can do, and you know, let's just see where we can take it. And I mean, they'd never left America before, and you know, God, we're with Rob Halford from Priest, and get over that, you know, because we're a new band. I'm just a singer in fight, and this is what we're going to try and do. So that's how the players came together.
Okay, don't you let your tea go so that you can have some.
I'm letting it cool off.
Oh, okay, sorry, Charles.
Which it might be.
Yeah, don't worry about that. So were you surprised at how well received it all was, and you know, allowed you to go on and continue doing more? It wasn't like the sort of the tiny little, oh God, I'd rather sooner forget about that kind of blip that a lot of people do have.
Yeah, but you know, it's like any new band. You can't expect, just because you got a famous lead singer, to think that all the doors are going to get blown off. You know, that's nothing. You've got to qualify what you're about by playing the best you can play. So that's what we did. I mean, I went from the last show with Priest at some Toronto baseball stadium with about 30,000 people, to a little club in Germany that had about, you know, 80 people in there. And I remember driving up in the car and thinking, is this the gig I'm going to be playing in? You know, what have I fucking done? What have I done? You have that bit of a head thing. And I thought, no, I mean, this is a new band. You've got to start from the ground up. I was just grateful that we got gigs. We put the word out, and promoters were like, yeah, well, you know, bring Rob in. And I ended up going back to a lot of these clubs where I started with Priest years before. So it was great. And I mean, you just don't have, you can't go around thinking, oh man, I've sold so many zillion records and I've got platinum records. And it just means absolutely nothing, you know.
A lot of people who go back to playing those smaller clubs kind of say that it reminds them why they got into it in the first place. You know, like the whole sort of Pink Floyd, Roger Waters' Wall thing. There's no wall anymore, there's you, and like you say, you're in a small place where the people are right in front of you. Was it kind of reinvigorating?
Well, you've only got to see what I'm doing on stage, you know. I look at what I did in the fight band in War of Words, and it's like a totally different thing that I'm doing. And I think I was just so fired up by that particular moment, what I was doing with the music and with the players that I'm with performing on stage. It's like a completely different person. I look at it and it's, is that me? Am I doing all that? You know, it's just again, it's just a qualifying moment. You're just so lost in your metal world that it just makes you do things that ordinarily you didn't think were even possible. So yeah, I mean, I was reliving a lot of things, and I was having a lot of fun doing it, and having that immediate contact, you know, where you're sweating on the front row, it's just great. You know, you people are right in your face, and I love that in metal particularly. I mean, it's just what we do.